Hello guys, and welcome to my very first Yu-Gi-Oh video. And you can't really tell, but this is Stardust Dragon right here. If you well, you could probably tell, but just wanted to point that out. But welcome to my very first Yu-Gi-Oh video, as I said again. Now, if you're seeing this video, please recommend it to your friends, maybe family if they're kind of into Yu-Gi-Oh. So, but to start this off, my name is Aaron. So just to start that off, I'm in school right now, so I can't really make videos often, but I will try to make videos as much as possible. So if you're seeing this and you subscribe and I make a video like a year later from now, just know I've been busy with life, trying to figure out everything out right now. So, but like I said, if you can please subscribe and get this out to your friends or whatever, I'd be very grateful. But today, for my very first video, I am doing my Red Eyes deck profile. So let's get down to business. First, I am running in my deck 3 Blackstone of Legend, which, if you don't know what Blackstone Legend does, is basically you summon it to the field with your normal summon, and you tribute it, sending it to the graveyard to special 1 Red Eyes level 7 or lower monster from your deck, which is a actually very good, because some Red Eyes monsters have very high attack. So there's that. And for the next cards, I am running 3 Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon, and I'm sorry it's zoomed in or whatever. I am doing this on my phone. So I'm running 3 Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon, which is a 24 beater, which you can get out with Stone. So it's another good search, and if you can get this out on your least first turn, if you don't know, you don't know what your opponent's going to play, but if you think, like, some decks like to play kind of low power monsters, so you beat over them so they can go to the graveyard for the graveyard's effect. But if you can get this out, if you're going second, if you get this out and they have no monsters on the field or whatever, just go not straight for the attack, but figure out what else to do with your hand. So there's that. And now this is after October ban list, or bin ban list. So I am running 1 Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon, because I'm pretty sure it's at 1. So basically, if this goes to the graveyard, it can't be special summoned, but it must be special summoned from hand by tributing 1 Red Eyes monster from hand or field. So if you don't have any, if you can't say, like, you have this in hand and you can't summon it, or you want to get just a 24 beater for Xyz or whatever, you can tribute this, bring this on the field, then use your Stone, bring out Stone, and put another 1 on there to go into Xyz play. So that's how I would do it. Then I am running 3 Black Metal Dragon, which his effect is, if he goes from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Red Eye spell or trap, which is actually pretty good, because there's pretty good Red Eye spell and traps out there. And then limited to 1, I am running 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, the gold one. His effect is, you can banish 1. You can special summon this card from hand by banishing 1 face-up dragon monster you control, and then you can only special summon 1 of them, and then once per turn, during your main phase, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand or graveyard. So it would be like this, this has another additional effect. You can equip it to him or one Red Eyes monster or whatever from the field. So if you have this on the field and then you have this in the graveyard, you can either pick to equip it, or you can just summon it, special summon it in defense position, and then have another search for a Red Eyes card. So if your Red Eyes Metal Black Dragon is in the grave or whatever, it would be a very good card to have to combo into getting a Red Eyes card with this. And I'm running one Tiger Dragon, which you'll find out why I'm only running one of them and why I really only need one. But if you do tribute him, he can destroy up to 2 set cards, 2 set spell or trap cards your opponent controls. So that is actually a pretty good, it's pretty good, but you never really want to tribute monsters in this deck. So, and now I understand this next card I'm going to show you is actually kind of expensive, but I'm running 3 Ash Blossom, which, if you don't know what Ash Blossom do, basically you send it to grave from your hand, and it negates adding cards from deck to hand, special summoning from deck, and send a card from deck to the graveyard. So it's a good hand trap to have in general. But if you can't afford it, then you can always have, like, I have some side deck cards that you can just side it out for that. It's not really a problem. So, but like I said, it's kind of expensive. So if you can't afford it, then oh well. It's whatever, you can find other cards for it. But if you can afford it, I very recommend getting this card. And now I am running the Dragoon package. 1 Red Eyes Dark Magician and 2 Red Eyes Black Dragon with a fusion. 2 fusions, but so 2 fusions, 2 Red Eyes Black Dragons, and 1 Dark Magician. So that's where Metal Black Dragon comes in, to where you can get fusion if it goes to the grave, so you have fusion for your next play. I'm running 2 Red Eyes Black Dragons, just in case I summon one, or I'm not paying attention, or I don't know what to do, and I just summon one, and I might have another one in my deck, or maybe in my graveyard, so I can, reborn it, or whatever, hopefully my opponent let it stay on the field, and then I can go in with Red Eyes Fusion to get Dragoon. And I'm running 2 Return of Dragon Lords, which is basically I target 1 level 7 or 8. 1 level 7 or 8 dragon monster in my graveyard, I special summon it, and it has its grave effect to where if this is in the grave, I can banish it to save my dragon or dragon monsters that would be destroyed by battle or card effect. I can banish this instead. So it's a cost for it, but it's a good card to have. And then I'm running 2 Red Eyes Insight to get to your fusion, or whatever cards you have in your deck that you might like. And basically, if you don't know what this card does, basically you activate it and you send 1 Red Eyes monster from deck or hand to the grave to activate it. That's for the cost. And then you take the Red Eyes spell or trap that you want to add to your hand. I'm running 1 Upstart Goblin, just another draw. It's a draw card to hopefully get to Red Eyes Fusion or Red Eyes Insight, or anything that will help me get my Red Eyes Fusion or Insight to my hand. And then I'm running not 2, but 3 Twin Twisters. It's a good card to have if your opponent has back row. It's a good card to just set on the field and have for like a later turn if your opponent sets. So, all in general, this deck is not really competitive, but it's kind of a good deck to have. I'm running one Harpy's Feather Duster and one 1-for-1. Harpy's Feather Duster destroys all your opponent's back row, and this you can send one monster from your hand to the graveyard and then special summon one level monster. So that helps you get out your stone so you can bring out your Red Eyes Black Dragon or whatever. And I am running 3 Infernal Fire Blasts, which this Infernal Fire Blast can save you a game. It can save you a game. It's a good card to have. If you're like down on life points against your opponent and you have this in your hand, but basically what it does, you can target one face-up Red Eyes Black Dragon, and when you control and inflict it to its original attack. So it's a good card to have. If you're kind of running low on time or whatever, it can save you games. And then I am running 2 Cards of Redstone. It's basically you send one Red Eyes monster to the grave from hand to the graveyard, then you draw 2 cards. So it's just basically another draw card to get to your cards that you need and kind of thinning out your deck. And then it has its secondary effect where you can send one level 7 Red Eyes monster to your deck to your graveyard. So if you have stone in hand, you have 2 searches to send that back to the deck. And I'm running 1 Claw of Hermos and 1 Monster Reborn. Claw of Hermos is I can send 1 dragon monster send 1 monster to field or hand to special summon 1 fusion monster that can only be special summoned by this spell card. It's a good card because it summons a monster that I have in my extra deck that will help you keep up your attack points, and to make sure your opponent can't really beat over your monsters. And the only really traps I'm running in my main deck are 3 impermanents. Basically, if you control no cards, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, send this graveyard, and negate its effect. Now, if it's set to the field and you activate it, when your opponent acts card's effect, anything in that column cannot be activated until the end phase. For the rest of this turn, all other spell and trap cards are negated. So, it basically until end phase, but until your turn. And that is the main deck. Like I said, this deck really ain't competitive, but it has some pretty good cards in there. And now we are moving on to my extra deck. And like I said, some of these cards can go into Xyz plays, so I am running 2 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, which his effect is inflict 500 damage for each time your opponent activates a card or effect. And then his secondary one is once per turn during either player's turn, I can detach 1 Xyz material from this and then target 1 Red Eyes normal monster. Which the normal monster, if it's in your grave that you want to target, is your Metal Flare Dragon. No, not your Metal Flare Dragon, your Black Flare Dragon, because he's considered a normal on the field and in graveyard. So it's a good card to go into your other one if you already have a level 7. If you already have another level 7 on there. And then 1 Dragoon. His effect, Omni Negate, just discard 1 card, negate a monster effect. That's his first effect. His second effect is you can pop monsters for their original attack to do burn damage up to the number of normal monsters you use, which Red Eyes, Black Dragon, and Dark Magician, that equals 2, so you're allowed to pop 2 monsters. 1 Red Eyes Black Sword, which you use this to get Hermos out, and if it wasn't because of Dragoon's effect, he ain't affected by card effects, this card attached to Dragoon would make the best combo ever. But sadly, with Dragoon's effect, he can't be affected by card effects. So, having this with like a Red Eyes Black Dragon or whatever is a good card to have. And then I'm running 1 Meteor Black Comet, which is a 35, and having like maybe at least 2 Infernal Fire Blasts, because when you use Red Eyes Fusion, it's considered as Red Eyes Black Dragon. So having at least 2, that's 7,000 damage right there. So if your opponent's already down to 1,000, if you can get this on the board and have at least 2. Now 3, that's just an OTK, like perfect. And then I'm running one Link Kuriboh. I don't have to run it, but I have it in there just in case I can't really do anything, and I don't want to put a big beater on the field, but this is just basically an attack negate. And part of the Dragoon package is Predaplant, Verte, and Anaconda. Basically, I pay 2,000 life points, and I pick 1 quick spell, one spell or trap, or 1 quick spell fusion card, and I use him as the effect instead of using that. So you can't really get to Predaplant because of all the high level monsters in here, but if you can and you don't have fusion in your hand, activate this even if you're like at 4,000, it's only 2,000 life points. You can OTK with this if you know you have 2. Now, if you're getting low on life points and you're trying to hurry, I wouldn't recommend summoning Red Eyes Dark Dragoon because it's useless, but it's technically not useless, because when this is summoned, you send 1 Red Eyes monster from deck to the graveyard to do half of its damage. Well, then you also have Infernal Fire Blast that you could use on this. So, it's an OTK thing. So, it's a good card to have. Now, let's get to my side deck. For my side deck, I have 1 Red Eyes Fusion, just in case, say, like, you're not seeing Red Eyes Fusion enough, you can just maybe pitch a card, or take a card out that you don't think is really useful against your opponent at that point in time, and side in Red Eyes Fusion, or you can just put Red Eyes Fusion in the deck, just so you can hopefully see it more. Then I have 2 Forbidden Chalices. Quick Spell card, it negates 1 monster effect, but it gains 400 attack until the end phase. Then I'm running 2 Solemn Strike. You pay 1,500 life points, and you can negate a special summon or a monster's effect. Negate the summon or activation, and you destroy the card. I'm putting in my side deck 2 Solemn Warnings. Like I said, I'm only running 3 traps, which is the Infinite Impermanence, but if you think you want more traps in there, you can go ahead and like side out maybe a couple like spell cards that you think aren't really useful at that point in time. So it's a good card to have. And then I have 2 Red Eyes Fang with Chain, which is basically you basically target 1 Red Eyes monster, equip this card, and it can make 2 attacks each battle phase. And then you can send this equipped card to the graveyard, then target 1 effect monster on the field, equip that target to the monster this card was equipped to, and if you do 1 of monsters, While a monster is equipped by this effect, its attack and defense become equal to the original attack and defense of that equipped monster. So, it's maybe like a good pairing with. I haven't really used this card, but if I think I know how it works, it's probably a good pairing. So you set your stone, you put your stone on the field, you set this, activate it, equip it to your stone. Then if you have like another card that negates or whatever, that hopefully your stone won't get affected, like Karibo or whatever. Let's hope you have Karibo, you negate one, and then if say like he only has one monster, then that's good. Then you'll send this, equip it to that one, and then it'll become 0 attack. So then you send that, bring out your whatever, and then you attack over it for that much damage. But I think that's how it works. I'm not exactly sure. And then for the last two cards for this deck list, Waking the Dragon, which is a good card. If it's set and it's destroyed, it's the graveyard, you can special summon one monster from your deck or extra deck. So, say like you set this and you don't have a fusion, or you're not seeing fusion enough, like I said, you can put that one fusion in there, or you can cite this in, and if this gets destroyed, you can bring out Dragoon or whatever. So it's a pretty good card to have, just for like side decking or whatever, if you know your opponent has trap removal or whatever. So, but I wouldn't recommend playing it, because if you know your opponent doesn't have trap removal, then it's just going to take up back row. So, but that is my Red Eyes Fusion, not my Red Eyes Fusion, my Red Eyes deck list. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, my very first video. But let me move some stuff here. Let me move my deck box and stuff. I had it on, but like I said, it's kind of, wonky. It lacks consistency, but once you kind of get used to it and everything, it's pretty good. But I don't have much decks. Besides this one and like I think 3 others. But if you guys do see this, or if you do see it and you like my videos, put down in the comments if you can, or I'll make another video, or I'll just put like a link or whatever to my email, and you can email me and tell me what deck list you would like to see first. What would you like to see? But for my next video idea, probably another deck list, but that's all I really got to do, because I don't have an actual setup to record duels or anything. But these are the 3 other deck lists or decks I have. I have a Watt deck, a Ghost Trick deck, and one Unchained deck. I might put my email or whatever in the description so you can contact me, just in case the comments are disabled. But what deck list would you like to see next? And for future videos, what would you like to see duel? Right now, I'm currently working on another deck, which some of the cards I'm using is for in this deck. But I'm currently working on another deck right now, so hopefully I will get that finished. So that might be a future video, which it is a Cyber Dragon deck. So if you would like to see that for a future video, just comment down below, or I'll put, like I said, I might just put, I'll put my contact information down below so you can contact me. And that is it for the video. And subscribe, and recommend this video to your friends to see how they like it. And enjoy the rest of your night or day.